The moment Terence "Bud" Crawford hinted that he might be willing to take on Canelo Alvarez, the boxing world stopped. Not in awe, not in excitement, but in a strange mix of fear, disbelief, and deep concern. Because while Terence Crawford is one of the most gifted fighters the sport has seen in decades, Canelo Alvarez is a whole different kind of monster. And now, everywhere from online forums to ESPN analyst desks, from the old-school gym rats to the legends themselves, the warnings have begun. A chorus of caution, a storm of voices saying the same thing. Bud, don't do it. This might be one fight too far. It's not hate. It's not doubt. It's respect. Deep, profound respect for what Terence Crawford has done in the sport and the kind of warrior Canelo Alvarez is. Because when two generational talents sit at opposite ends of the scale, it's not just a matter of skills anymore. It's physics. It's pressure. It's power. And it could be legacy-breaking. This is the fight that has the world talking. Not because it's a guaranteed super fight, but because it's a gamble of epic proportions. Terence Crawford has walked through divisions like a ghost, unseen, untouchable, and ultimately victorious. From 135 to 147, he has dismantled top fighters with surgical precision, not just beating them, but breaking them. Errol Spence Jr., once thought to be his toughest challenge, became another name on the list. That wasn't just a victory. It was a statement. Crawford's footwork, timing, switch-hitting ability, and fight IQ make him a nightmare for anyone near his size. He's slick, he's composed, and when he smells blood, he's one of the most ruthless finishers in the game. But now he's looking up the mountain, way up, to the super middleweight throne. And sitting on that throne is Canelo Alvarez, a man forged in the fires of the toughest divisions, a fighter who went toe-to-toe with Gennady Golovkin 3 times, a man who's made a career of walking through world champions like they were tune-up fights. From Callum Smith to Billy Joe Saunders, from Caleb Plant to Sergey Kovalev, Canelo has proven that size, skill, and Mexican grit are all wrapped into one deadly package, and that's why the alarms are sounding. See, Crawford might be pound for pound the best, but there's a reason why the phrase exists in the first place. Pound for pound is a way of saying, if everyone was the same size, this guy would be king. But in real life, they're not the same size. And Canelo has been operating at 168 and even 175. He's been fighting men who walk around at 190, cutting down just to make weight, and then rehydrating overnight, stepping into the ring with the strength of a light heavyweight. Crawford, on the other hand, is barely scratching 154. That's a massive difference. Boxing is not just about skill. If it was, we'd have different legends atop the charts. It's also about taking damage, dishing it out, and surviving the wear and tear of elite combat. Canelo throws shots that sound like thunder. Ask anyone who's been in the ring with him. Ask Caleb Plant how it feels to get hit by one of those left hooks. Ask Billy Joe Saunders what it feels like when your orbital bone gives out under the pressure of a Canelo uppercut. That's not something Bud has felt before, not even close. And it's not just about what Canelo throws, it's about what he can take. The man has one loss on his record, and it's to Floyd Mayweather back when he was young and green. Since then, he's become a different beast. His head movement is elite, his patience is surgical, and his chin, granite. Gennady Golovkin landed flush shots, punches that would buckle lesser men, and Canelo barely blinked. The kind of precision that Crawford brings to the table may not have the same effect against someone who's been built in a different weight class entirely. People forget how brutal that kind of weight jump can be. Roy Jones Jr., one of the most athletic fighters of all time, went up to heavyweight and came back down, only to find that something had changed. Speed, timing, punch resistance, it doesn't always stay the same. Andre Ward, a man who could have pushed his legacy further, knew better. He retired on top rather than chasing risks that could break him. Even Floyd Mayweather, the master of calculated risk, never dared go near 168. There's a reason for that. You can only stretch the body so far before it starts fighting back. The idea of Crawford moving up to face Canelo is tantalizing. No doubt. It would be historic. It would be unprecedented. It would cement Crawford as a living legend if he pulled it off. But that If is massive. Canelo is not just a big guy, he's a big guy with elite experience. His ring IQ is as high as Crawford's. His discipline is unmatched. He's a master at cutting off the ring, at punishing the body, at wearing you down before landing the kill shot. And unlike many of Crawford's previous opponents, Canelo won't be overwhelmed by angles or switching stances. He's seen it all, and he's walked through it all. Crawford's sharpness gives him an edge early. His movement, his jab, his ability to switch from orthodox to southpaw, keep opponents guessing. It could give Canelo trouble for a few rounds. But over time, what happens when those punches start bouncing off Canelo's guard? When Bud starts to realize that the man in front of him isn't slowing down, isn't backing off, and isn't feeling the sting like he used to? What happens when Canelo starts investing in the body, like he always does, methodically breaking down every bit of movement Crawford tries to create? What happens when a 168-pound body shot lands clean? There's a brutal simplicity in what Canelo does. He doesn't waste motion, he doesn't get wild, he hunts, he pressures, and he doesn't stop. Even in the later rounds when others fade, Canelo finds another gear. Crawford has never had to deal with that from a man so much bigger, and that's what has legends like Tim Bradley speaking up. He knows what those weight classes feel like. He knows the difference, so when he says Bud shouldn't take this fight, it's not doubt, it's wisdom. This isn't about protecting Crawford. It's about preserving greatness. There are other fights. Crawford could fight Jermell Charlo at 154. He could unify that division. He could continue building his legacy brick by brick. But going straight to the top of the 168-pound food chain? That's not just a jump. That's a leap into the lion's den with no guarantee of making it back out. And once that aura is cracked, once that image of invincibility is gone, it doesn't come back. Not completely. Yes, boxing is about daring to be great, but it's also about choosing the right mountain to climb. The greats all took risks, but they took smart risks. Canelo was smart in choosing when to move up, who to fight, how to pace his career. Crawford is just now hitting that stage where his name rings out globally. He's got leverage, he's got momentum. A bad loss, especially a brutal one, could derail that. The fight game isn't fair like other sports. One wrong move and the public turns. The media shifts, and the legacy takes a hit. There's also a business side to this. Promoters love the idea of a super fight. The money is insane. The hype would be off the charts. Vegas would light up like it's the 4th of July. But those who care about Crawford, the person, the fighter, the legacy, they're speaking out. Because this fight, for all its glitter, might be a trap disguised as an opportunity. Canelo knows it. His team knows it. They've been doing this a long time. They pick their shots wisely. And let's not forget, Canelo isn't slowing down. While some people thought he was declining after the Dimitri Bivol loss, he came back and dominated Jermell Charlo with ease. He looked sharper, stronger, more focused. This is not the moment to catch Canelo off guard. This is the moment where Canelo is fully locked in. The man who destroyed Caleb Plant and Saunders is still very much alive. Crawford has always believed in himself. That's part of what makes him special. But in boxing, confidence has to be balanced by calculation. This isn't 147. It's not Spence. It's not Porter. This is Canelo. Bigger, stronger, and every bit as smart. One mistake, and it's lights out. Not just the fight, but the myth, the magic, the Crawford legacy that's still being written. You can feel the tension. Fans want the fight. Analysts debate it daily. But deep down, everyone who really understands this sport, who's lived it, breathed it, bled it, they're worried. Because this kind of leap doesn't come without a price. And sometimes, that price is too high. So here we are. One of the most dominant fighters of his era, considering the most dangerous move of his career. The warning signs are flashing. The voices are rising. And the question now becomes, will Terence Crawford listen? Because once that bell rings, there's no turning back. And if Canelo lands clean, there may be no coming back either. So what, do you think? Is this the defining fight of Crawford's career, or the one that ends the magic? Should he take the risk and chase immortality, or play it smart and preserve his greatness? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you respect Bud's ambition, smash that like button. If you know how dangerous Canelo is, hit subscribe. Fist and Fate. We break it all down here. This is the fight world, raw and unfiltered. And here on your channel name, when we tell it like it is, we'll catch you in the next one. Stay sharp.